One of the faces of Undisputed on Fox is Skip Bayless. His relentless debates against Shannon Sharpe have captivated attention of many. Well, sometimes not exactly the debate part, but rather his outrageous takes on things, love for certain teams and players, and hate towards others. Skip Bayless, as they sometimes would call him, obviously does this all for show. Or does he? Hey guys, Purple Prince here, and today we look at Skip Bayless, some facts, and discuss how bad he was at sports himself. Let's start with the man himself. In the spring of 2012, Skip Bayless got exposed. In the midst of a lot of heated debates about basketball, fellow colleague Jalen Rose called him out on his basketball shortcomings. According to Mr. Bayless, he was a starter for a high school team that eventually lost in the state finals. What he didn't mention was his role in those wins and losses. Turns out, Skip Bayless, or should I say Skip Maravich, played in 15 of team's 22 games and scored 21 points during the whole season. He averaged 1.4 points for the season, which is not exactly what we thought would be the case when we first found out about Skip being a starter of his basketball team. Game wasn't as high scoring back then obviously, but 1.4 points still seem a bit low for such a smart basketball mind. He did say that the low averages in playing time were a combination of him not being the Pete Maravich he thought he was, and the team's head coach hating on him. Whatever it was, this fact obviously is a great piece of art for all of those who Skip Bayless has hated on, including CJ McCollum, who reminded of it to everyone on Twitter. While his basketball career really was a failure, you can't deny that for almost a 70-year-old, he's in great shape. But I'm sure he'll remind you that soon during one of his debates. Okay, let's get to some facts. Number 1. LeBron Hater. Since this is a basketball channel and NBA is the most popular topic on these shows, we've had a chance to hear a lot of basketball. If you talk about basketball, you do have to talk about LeBron as well, cause, well, he's been the best player for years and in my eyes still is. But as for Skip Bayless, LeBron just can't do him right. When LeBron won his first championship in Miami, Skip famously stood up and applauded LeBron for winning the chip. And then, as always, he started to bash LeBron for a missed free throw here and there, a bad pass, a bad decision, not being clutch, not taking the last shot, and so on. When he won his second ring, LeBron didn't do anything because it was Ray Allen who saved his legacy. For his third ring, it was Kyrie who delivered the championship to Cleveland, not LeBron. It doesn't matter that he pretty much averaged a goddamn triple-double for the series and came back from a historic deficit in the finals. It was all others. If LeBron wins the chip with the Lakers, I'm pretty sure it'll be all about Anthony Davis and role players, not about LeBron. It's a team game, but LeBron has been constantly bringing his team back into games and series. Well, at least it's fun to predict all the new things he could think of that are the causes of failures for LeBron. Number 2. Jordan Lover. I think this one relates closely to the first point. For a long time and still to this day we hear the debate of LeBron versus MJ. Who's better, who's greater, who's the GOAT? Now, I'm of the opinion to include in this debate some other all-timers like Kareem, Bill Russell, and so on, but mostly over the media it's been between these two. He always uses argument of Jordan being 6-0 in the finals, his leadership, his killer instinct and taking the last shot. You can't dispute those arguments, but what about having a great coach? What about not winning anything without Scottie Pippen? What about being eliminated early from the playoffs multiple times? I'm not here to debate who's greater, but it's pretty clear that Skip loves Jordan, and I do too, just not to that degree. Opposite to LeBron, Jordan can't do anything wrong for Skip Bayless when it comes to basketball. Number 3. Spurs Lover and Kawhi Hater. Sort of. For almost 2 full years, Kawhi Leonard was on the blacklist of Skip Bayless, all because he wanted to leave San Antonio. The way he did it wasn't good in my book. I do think he could have played more games for San Antonio that year, but I also think you can't blame the guy for wanting to do what's right for him. Not if you're Skip Bayless. Instead of calling him by his name, Skip started to call him number 2, and just recently something happened inside Skip's head and he wore Kawhi's Clipper jersey during his show and called him by his full name. Kawhi really broke his feelings with the way he did the Spurs, and since Skip loves the Spurs, the end result was that one of the best players in the world was nameless for almost 2 years. I'm not gonna get into full detail of other things, teams, people he loves, but the short list would be the Vanderbilt University, Dallas Cowboys, Tim Tebow, his dog daughter Hazel, and obviously his wife Ernestine. I know what you're thinking now. Dude, chill, it's all for show. Likely, maybe. But in a 2016 interview, his former colleague Stephen A. Smith said, "He means what he says. Whatever you want to say about him, he's authentic. He ain't playing. When that man tells you that he believes Tim Tebow is better in the fourth quarter than Aaron Rodgers, he ain't playing. He always has his facts." So maybe it's not all just for show. Maybe he really believes crazy things and he himself is just a bit crazy. I mean, he's doing crazy workouts for his age and doesn't miss many of them. I can tell you the last 2 days I missed a workout. May 3rd, 1998 when I had a sinus infection, and July 4th, 2009 after I ate some bad meat. I'm a psycho. I don't buy the idea of rest, but I'm a positive psycho. I believe you can always find time to do something. When you have a bad day, you can go slower. Once you get started, you'll feel so much better. I do an hour of cardio every day without fail, and I lift on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. To make the cardio happen, I have to do it before work, even if we have an early start. So the next time you see Skip yelling and saying crazy things, remember, they just might be pretty sane to him. So that's Skip Bayless. Thank you guys for watching the video. What do you think about Skip Bayless? Leave a comment down below. Make sure to leave a like for Skip and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for future content. These days, subscribing just ain't cutting it, so make sure to also enable bell notifications to not miss any upcoming videos. Thank you very much. This is Purple Prince, and I'm out.
Kid is a gamer, he's a baller, he's a playmaker, and a shot caller. In case you didn't know, I got Tebow, he shattered the mold, and all he does is win, all he does is win games. Listen, I got Tebow, he shattered the mold, and all he does is win, all he does is unleash. Tell Tebow, let him go, it's time, turn him loose, let him play, on Sunday, unleash. Tell Tebow, let him go, it's time, turn him loose, let him play.
I'm going to church Sunday.